Vegas spent the last few years turning every tourist into an ATM. Now occupancy has dropped to 78.7%. Headline sales promise up to 50% off, and resorts are scrambling to slash resort fees. This is not a burst of generosity. It is what happens when hotel greed collides with empty rooms. How did the city push prices so far that operators are effectively begging people back? Let us pull apart the receipts. Resort fees did not just appear overnight. They spread like a new tax on fun. By 2016, the Strip's biggest operators had quietly rolled out nightly add-ons, starting around $20. Within a few years, those fees doubled. By 2024, a stay at a major casino hotel came with a $45 or even $50 daily surcharge, whether you use the gym or not. That is before taxes and before you even touch the minibar. These fees were not optional, and they were not subtle. They showed up in fine print, then hit your credit card at checkout, adding 20 to 30% to the bill for the average visitor. Parking followed the same playbook. Self-parking in Las Vegas was free, almost a civic right. Then, starting in 2016, MGM and Caesars led the push, tacking on $15 to $23 per day for the privilege of leaving your car in a garage. Multiply that by a 3-night stay, and you are already out another $60 just to park. Industry analysts estimated these new parking fees alone brought in over $100 million a year across the Strip. What started as a side hustle became standard operating procedure. Operators realized tourists would grumble, but most would pay. The business mindset was simple. If guests keep coming, keep stacking the fees. Stacking became the rule. By the time the pandemic ended and demand surged, the total nightly cost for a basic room, fees, and parking included, regularly topped $250. The greed checklist grew longer, and the city's reputation for value quietly faded into the background. The new reality was clear. Every add-on was an opportunity. Ordering a drink on the Strip turned into a math test. A single draft beer poured into a souvenir cup could run $22 before tip, a 300% markup over the cost of the same brew in a regular bar. Cocktails climbed even higher, with $28 margaritas and $50 signature drinks showing up on menus that used to feel playful, not punitive. Dinner for two at a mid-tier restaurant, once a splurge, now looked like a car payment. Repeat guests started to notice. Social feeds filled with screenshots of receipts, and the phrase "sticker shock" became a running joke among Vegas regulars. By 2024, the city's reputation for value had flipped. The question was not whether you would get gouged, but how much. Travelers adjusted. Some skipped the Strip's bars entirely, grabbing drinks at off-strip liquor stores before heading out. Others started tracking happy hour windows like flight schedules or booking rooms within room fridges just to avoid $7 bottles of water. The frustration was real, and it was not just about the money, it was about feeling played. That is when operators started to notice fewer covers at dinner, emptier bars after midnight, and a wave of guests who checked out with a sour taste. Quick ask, if you want more receipts-based breakdowns of what is really happening in Vegas, hit like and subscribe. This channel tracks empty Vegas with real numbers, not just rumors. Stick around for the next round of evidence. Hotels love their acronyms, but the numbers are actually pretty simple once you break them down. Occupancy is the percentage of hotel rooms that are filled on any given night. If a property has 1,000 rooms and 800 are booked, that is 80% occupancy. Next up is average daily rate, known as ADR. It is the average price guests actually pay for a room, not counting taxes or fees. Think of it as the sticker price before the fine print. If 10 rooms are sold, some at $100, some at $200, the average is the ADR. Then there is revenue per available room, often called RevPAR. This ties it all together. It is the total room revenue divided by every room in the building, whether it is booked or empty. If a hotel brings in $80,000 from 1,000 rooms, RevPAR is $80. RevPAR drops if occupancy falls or if hotels have to cut rates to fill beds. These three metrics, occupancy, ADR, and RevPAR, are how every Vegas operator keeps score. When they all start heading south, it is a sign the party is slowing down. September 2025 delivered the first real crack in the facade. Hotel occupancy slipped to 78.7%, a drop of more than 5 percentage points from the previous year. That is not a rounding error. It is thousands of empty rooms, especially on slow midweek nights when business travelers and conventioneers used to prop up the numbers. By November, the slide had not stopped. Occupancy hovered at 79.4%, still down 2 percentage points year over year. The average daily rate, called ADR, landed around $193, which sounds high until you realize it is nearly 3% lower than last November. Revenue per available room, known as RevPAR, also tumbled, confirming that hotels were not just filling fewer beds, they were making less money on each one. STR and LVCVA snapshots back this up. Citywide occupancy through November averaged 80.7%, down 3 percentage points from 2024. These are not outlier months or a blip on the radar. The numbers show a clear pattern. Demand is not keeping up with the price tags. For operators used to squeezing every dollar, that is the sound of leverage slipping away. Discounts are not hiding in the fine print anymore. They are splashed across official promos and booking pages. The Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority rolled out a citywide fabulous 5-day sale, dangling up to 50% off rooms, free parking, and waived resort fees. That is not a random coupon. It is the whole city trying to move inventory. Resorts World joined in with a no resort fees deal, valid through January 4th, 2026. Even the notorious fees became flexible. Loyalty members and award stays started skipping the add-ons, no questions asked. These are not quiet back corridor offers. They are front and center, proof that the same companies who once charged for everything are now tossing out value hooks just to keep rooms filled. The receipts are public, and the reversal is loud. Midweek, on the Strip, the difference is hard to miss. Casino floors that once buzzed with steady foot traffic now show wide stretches of empty carpet between the blackjack tables. Bars that used to be standing room only after dark have open stools and bartenders waiting for someone to flag them down. Even the restaurants, famous for turning away walk-ins, are suddenly eager to seat anyone who glances at a menu. The usual thrum of tourists fades into scattered conversations and the hum of slot machines without the crowd to drown them out. It is not deserted. Weekends and big events still pull the crowds, but outside those peaks, the city feels like it is catching its breath. For anyone who remembers the old Vegas, the softer midweek pulse is not just a vibe. It is the real-world echo of fewer bookings and more deals on the table. Vegas pricing isn't a straight line, it is a yo-yo. When demand spikes for a big weekend, rates shoot up, resort fees return, and value disappears. But when bookings slow, the same operators roll out discounts, fee waivers, and last-minute promos to fill rooms. The pattern is clear. Corporate strategy responds to empty beds, not nostalgia. If you want to keep more of your money, remember 3 steps. Book midweek for the best rates. Check for fee waivers or loyalty perks before you click confirm. And never assume the first price is the final deal. If you want me to track the best Vegas deals every week and call out which casinos are discounting the hardest, hit subscribe and comment deals. I will start a weekly Vegas value report if enough people ask. Vegas casinos are not suddenly generous. They are responding to falling occupancy and shrinking revenue. Those discounts are designed to fill empty rooms. As the numbers slip, pricing power fades fast. For visitors, the value war is back on. The real gamble now is who blinks first, the casinos or the customers?